Hi, and welcome back to Suck War Central. I'm your host, CJ, and before we get into the meat of the video, I'd like to briefly talk about what my plan is as far as weekly upload schedules go. If you don't really care about that, then just go ahead and skip to the timestamp on the screen right now. So, every week I plan to do one chapter review and one analysis video. The chapter reviews are going to be a lot rougher and less edited and will really just be like my unfiltered thoughts on the chapter. For those of you who have seen my other videos, though, the analyses I'm talking about are what are going to be more like those, full of editing and coherent thoughts and such, so don't worry, those are still coming. But without further ado, let's get into the chapter review. So, right off the bat, we have the huge revelation that Halkenberg's beast can affect people outside of his immediate circle of followers, and that makes him monstrously more powerful than we originally thought. Earlier, Benjamin's faction thought that his weakness was that you could kind of isolate Halkenberg and render him powerless that way, and now it looks like that's pretty much impossible because people support him all over wherever he goes. There's essentially no way to stop him from getting access to Possession Arrow. No matter where he is, he's going to have a hive mind full of people to use as ammunition, so the attack's unblockable, he'll always be able to use it, and he's a champion archer. Yeah, this essentially brings us back to, like, square one in terms of Hauk's weaknesses. Like, how do you even counter this? And in my opinion, Hauk is now the top contender for the throne, and I'm not joking. I rate him above Camilla, above Benjamin, and yes, I even put him above Terror Sandwich in terms of his ability to win this thing. I'm pretty sure I see exactly how he's gonna do it, too, and it's kind of driving me crazy, but there's a better place to talk about that, so just trust me when I say I'll explain that in, like, a bit. Anyway, for now, let's go back to talking about how formidable Hauk is. So on this page, it looks like he's able to see through his minion's eyes in order to plan out his shot. And like that combined with his insane archery prowess, I mean, recall that he's supposed to be the second best professional archer in the world. He can pretty much snipe anyone from almost anywhere with an arrow that I'd like to remind you is completely unblockable. And also, I'm pretty sure he's possessed Balsamico Might, just like I predicted in my Who's Gonna Die video. I shouldn't actually brag about that. It's not really a difficult prediction. Anyway, a couple reasons I think this. One, Hauk bets his life with every shot of the arrow, but we have no indication that he's dead yet. In fact, he's not dead, so it probably hit. Two, Benjamin notes that Balsamico requested postponing the trial after Hauk's aura rumbling happened, so that was probably a move by possessed Balsamico. I mean, Balsamico possessed by Hauk. Anyway, the bottom line is that Hauk now has control of Benjamin's chief strategist. Benjamin is so unbelievably screwed. So there's a few pages of Benji and Balsamico talking, and Balsamico guarantees that Hauk will be dead within the day. So a lot of people have theorized that Hauk is hardcore enough to sacrifice his body, and it's like a 4D chess move to fake his death, and I do think they're kind of right, but they're not seeing the full picture. See, Hauk wants to win the succession war, but losing his body makes that kind of problematic. We have to remember that the Kakin legal system and Kakin law are almost important in all of this as like actual Nen fights. So what I'm trying to say is that technically, even if Hauk was possessing Balsamico, if he sacrifices his body, then Halkenberg is legally dead. Ninth Prince Halkenberg is a contender for the throne, but Balsamico Might is not. So even if Hauk wins in Balsamico's body, he's not going to be able to become king. So does this mean that the theorists are wrong and he's not actually going to sacrifice his body? Not so, my friends. Let me tell you how Hauk's really planning on winning the succession war. I think he's going to prove to Benjamin that he is Balsamico by killing Hauk's original body. And then, once Benjamin's guard is down, Hauk plans to find a way to use Possession Arrow on Benjamin. That's right, he's going to be Benjamin, and he'll win the succession war as Benjamin. That's his 4D chess plan. If Benjamin takes the throne, then there's no problem, right? He's still a Kakin prince. And once he's Benji, he's also going to have access to all of Benji's soldiers. And this whole martial law threat that's been looming ever closer and that they keep talking about, it's not going to be Benji's win condition, it's going to be Hauk's. Now, you might be thinking, how's he going to keep the soldiers convinced that he's Benji for long enough to win the war. And like, I don't think he'll need to. His beast affects people who are loyal to him. I don't want to say I'm positive because Togashi likes making abilities work in unexpected ways, and this might be part of the challenge that stops Halkenberg from just winning instantly, but I do think there's like a pretty good chance that the Beast is going to add all of Benji's people to Hulk's hive mind. Like, he's gonna get control over them, and suddenly he'll have all the resources that Benjamin had that made Benjamin the front runner in this contest. It's gonna be a huge upset, I'm telling you. Anyway, yeah. So another reason I think all this is that it makes thematic sense, total sense. Because Halkenberg's arc is all about corruption and falling from innocence. Like, at the start of all this, he was a pacifist, and now he's determined to win the succession war because his dad convinced him with the whole trolley problem argument they had. And he's doing all sorts of things that would horrify the old Halkenberg, like using his archery talent to hurt people. And that time he had Shikaku commit suicide was also really messed up. I mean, look at the symbolism of this panel, right? It's from quite a few chapters ago. I don't remember now, but yeah. Anyway, it's Halkenberg deciding to pick up a weapon so large and heavy that it might be more than he can bear. He's going to have to change to pick up that weapon, And since then, Togashi keeps drawing him in like super menacing panels that look just like a villain's. Taking over Prince Benjamin would literally be him becoming the thing he hates most. It would complete his journey, his character journey, from a well-meaning pacifist into a violent, homicidal warmonger, and it would be so tragically beautiful that I think it's exactly the kind of thing Togashi would pull. And on that note, let's get back to the chapter before I lose myself in, symbolism and stuff. So, I think the revelation that Hulk is actually Unma's son fully supports all the stuff I was just saying. Yeah, that's right. You thought I was getting right back to the chapter and the plot. Nope, we're still in symbolism land. So anyway, that's why I think Togashi put that forward in this chapter. Unma is the mother of Benjamin and Terror Sandwich, and now she's also Hulk's mom. Now we know that. Like, do you see it? Do you see the vision? As Hulk becomes more and more of a violent warmonger, we're finding out that actually he's much more connected to two of the most evil princes than we thought. It's symbolism! Symbolism! I tell you! Okay, yeah, this revelation is basically Togashi pushing Hulk closer to the evil princes as he turns over to the dark side, and he's going to complete that arc by literally becoming one of them. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I just get so excited about all this. Togashi, you genius. If you weren't married, oh my god, I can't say that on YouTube. Anyway, this is like the kind of energy that my friends know me for having, and I have to really dial it back for the analysis videos, but you are not getting that filter for a chapter review. Oh god, okay, where were we? There's more to review, so yeah, let me actually get back to the plot this time. So in the next section, we've got Kurapika talking to Oito about how the anti-leaving measure actually gave him an idea for helping anybody. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this idea might be because I've spent like most of my time thinking about the Hulk and Benjamin stuff. I mean, later he says he wants to go public with the letter, but I'm pretty sure that's only part of, the idea. Because otherwise, why would there be a cutaway? I think that's a Togashi misdirection. So anyway, I do also think I get why Kurapika says that this information means there's hope all of a sudden. Because Hunter x Hunter always goes on about how, like, no form of Nen is invincible and all that, and I think that applies here. In my opinion, it means that because that way is closed off, there must be another way that's open. I'm not really sure I put that correctly, but basically with what Kurapika knows about Nen, this is telling him that there should be a way to disable the contest without, like, playing the death game, and he just has to find it. What else? Okay, yeah. We have Zhonglei and his coin shenanigans. He doesn't know what the coins do, and I actually have an idea about this. They need someone who can see the Nen Beast to try, like, redeeming the coin, because, yeah, right now, they don't really have a Nen expert. Because I'm pretty sure the Beast's mouth is meant to be a coin slot, and you redeem coins to get rewards based on the value of the coins. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of the first ideas Kurapika comes up with when he goes and sees the thing, which should happen soon with the little call room 1014 panel at the end of the Zhonglei section. So moving on, we've got this guy named Wario Bay, or I guess Wario in the Viz translation. But like the Raws used a Wa character, so it's literally Wario. The official translation just changed it for what I assume are copyright reasons because a certain company doesn't like messing around with or they don't mess around with their copyright stuff. But his name is Wario, goddammit. Never stop calling him Wario. He is Wario Bay. Anyway, so this guy talks to Kaiser, and we get a little insight into Kaiser's thoughts here. Here, the person manipulating him thinks it's risky to meet Hulk, which is that's how you think of an enemy. But Melody is trying to work with Hulk, so I do think Kaiser is not fully on Melody's side here, and some of her suspicions about him were well founded. Because, like, Hulk is known as a kind and reasonable guy, so I don't think Kaiser is really justified in feeling this way, but then again, maybe Kaiser, as a member of the Justice Bureau, knows a side of Hulk that we don't. I mean, Hulk is kind of close with Terror Sandwich after all, which is pretty suspicious. I wouldn't trust someone who was friends with Terror Sandwich. But yeah, I don't fully know what to make of it yet, but it's like something to keep an eye on. Okay, so the last thing we should talk about is that the next round of Nen training is going to begin tomorrow. That makes me think we might be in for an action-heavy chapter or two in the near future. Because for starters, there's Silent Majority to worry about, but we also have to remember Sarahel's plan. Sarahel is Camilla's guard who's in charge of cursing Wobble, and she said she was going to go to the Nen classes and try to do that. So yeah, expect some conflict soon. Kurapika also said he's going to make the contents of Kacha's letter to Oito public to try and get the upper princes to bargain with him about withholding the letter contents, and I honestly think that's kind of a mistake. I either think they won't care or they'll see him as a target. If someone doesn't want Kurapika to expose what's in that letter, they're not going to try and talk to him about it because he's given the impression that he's extremely open with information. They're going to skip straight to trying to kill him about it. I mean, I say all this knowing that Kurapika is way smarter than me. Maybe he's playing some kind of game that I just don't see. I do trust the guy, but just like right now, to me, it looks like a really bad idea that's going to have people trying to kill Kurapika. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the chapter. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back later this week with a more serious analysis. Sorry about all the, freaking out. That's just how I am, and if you don't like that, you can just stick to watching the analyses. That's totally fine. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed. I already said that. God damn it. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.